If you like what you see here, please donate to ModernPagan.tv. Just go to our website, www.ModernPagan.tv, and look for the donate button. We appreciate your contributions to keep ModernPagan.tv on the air and on the internet. And now, back to live ModernPagan.tv.
Hi, so I have been a high priestess of the Wicca for many years, 28 years, 30 years. And I've been a psychic for 28 years, something like that. And people have asked me questions along the way. So I started writing an advice column for people who had questions to do with metaphysics, with pagan spirituality, with their own spiritual growth, perhaps. And here's one that's come up quite a bit when I do readings for folks, psychic readings, using the tarot cards. And that's the question about obsessive love. We're talking about love. This is about obsessive love. Why can't I quit my man? Or why can't I quit my woman? What is it about this situation that makes it so hard to end? And there are usually 3 tarot cards that will come up when I'm doing a reading and this comes up. One will be the Judgment or the Justice card. A third one will be, I don't have them now, but we can bring them up on screen. In a minute. In a minute, okay. So we will have the Justice or the Judgment card, and then we will have the Devil card. All 3 are cards in the major arcana, and both the Justice, the way I read the cards, both the Justice card and the Judgment card have karmic themes to them. The Devil card, he's an interesting symbol. There's in the standard Rider-Waite symbology, you see 2 people, a man and a woman, who are chained to the throne of the devil. And the way I interpret that card, it's about some place where we're stuck, where we're unable to move forward in our lives, some place where we can't move, where we can't make progress. And in terms of reading about a relationship, someone has come in asking about this relationship, and I see the Devil card show up. Then I'll see that there's some kind of dysfunction and compulsiveness and obsessiveness in this relationship. It could go back to something in their personal history, perhaps. Perhaps they grew up in a household, in a family where they had very little warmth or love that came their way. Perhaps they love the drama. They're addicted to the drama of dysfunctional relationships. It gives them adrenaline high, all that emotional hyperactivity. Perhaps they experienced a parent or another love object who was unavailable to them, and they always end up dating people who are also unavailable to them. Whatever the personal reasons may be, if the Devil card shows up, that will be saying something about something that's incomplete that needs to be completed before the person will be able to move out of these obsessive kinds of relationships. If those other 2 cards, the Judgment card or the Justice card, show up, then that karmic element comes into the interpretation. And that will be saying something about the fact that it isn't just something in their prior history in this lifetime that is creating that, but that it's also something in their, perhaps in their past life or lifetime history. So let's talk for a moment about our soul family. I think we've all got people who are part of our soul family, and they're folks who we have been intimate with in other lifetimes. Sometimes someone will ask me about a soul mate, for example, and I'll say, we could have several soulmates in the sense that there's a whole family that of people that we have been intimate with before, when we meet them in this lifetime, there's something that happens, an instant recognition. These are the folks who, even though we've just met them, they already feel very familiar to us. They feel like family. Your classic falling in love across the room experience, or maybe it's just that you start talking to this person, you look in their eyes and you go, wow, I know this person, but we haven't met before in this lifetime. So those soul family folks, they may have been parents, we may have been parent and child, we may have been siblings, we may have been lovers, we may have been husband and wife, we may even have been arch rivals and enemies, but some kind of very intense and intimate relationship was there. When you combine that karmic situation with the dysfunction of the devil card, the stuckness, the trappedness of the devil card, that will often explain why somebody's finding it so hard to break away from someone who's no good for them. Those and
getting more karma.
Well, I think that we are constantly being given the opportunity to work out or put an end to those old karmic themes. So when it comes up again this time, hopefully this time we can put an end to it and not keep recreating that same pattern that's been going on for so long. So one of the things we can do, if we realize that the reason why we're finding it so hard to break the relationship off with this particular person is because there's something really dysfunctional going on and it's got a past life element to it, well, we might want to do some past life regression and see if we can find out what those lifetimes were about. Perhaps we had made an unwise promise. I will love you forever. Please don't use those forever words. Yeah, bad idea spiritually to use those forever promises because they lock you in over many lifetimes. Or perhaps the person said, I'll always take care of you. Or perhaps there was an unrequited love situation or a loss of this person you loved so much. Whatever the particular circumstances were, there are techniques you can use to put an ending to that unhappy or sad thing that happened in the past. You can finish it up in the work you do in this lifetime, and then it won't have the hold on you that it has. Similarly, there are many psychotherapeutic techniques that people can use to work on their family issues or their past relationship in this lifetime issues. But some work will be needed to put an end to this. We can already see when those cards show up, the Judgment card, the Justice card, and the Devil card, that this is going to be a situation that's very difficult to end without some extraordinary measures being taken.
Jackie, there's some questions from the chat room here. So,
how would I define the Devil card for the month of love? Is it bounding of positive and negative?
Is it binding? Yeah.
I see, in addition to the particular issue of the Devil card being about dysfunctional relationships and possibly obsessive relationships, it can be also about areas where I'm sorry, I'm not thinking of the word, addictions. That's the word I couldn't think of. It could also refer to addictions. It can refer to negative behaviors that we keep repeating that are bad for us. It can refer to thoughts that we keep repeating that also are negative. So it can have any of those meanings. So another possible meaning for February and the month of love could possibly be that you have an addiction to a certain kind of relationship or a certain kind of sexual activity. There's a very good film out right now at the moment for those of you who are film buffs about somebody. It's called Shame, and it's about somebody who has a sexual addiction, and it's just a very good portrayal of that situation. Michael Fassbinder is the gets to play the lead role in Shame, and
Somebody else asked you there about karma. How would you define it in justice or judgment cards?
Well, justice card can be about justice, as in legal situations, jurisprudence. But to me, the other meaning is karmic. It's about karmic justice. Perhaps there was an unfairness that was done to us or that we did to another in another lifetime. And so in this lifetime, we get to see if we can, again, balance that out. You know, the symbol of justice is the scales. And there's that balancing that needs to go on. You know, I think we all get to be both victims and perpetrators over many lifetimes, till finally we get to the point where we don't have to be either, where we can we can exercise the right use of power and where we really understand fairness and equity. We can both give to ourselves and share with others. You know, it's finding that balance place. But I think part of why we may have lifetimes in which we're victim and other lifetimes in which we're perpetrator is to find out how not to do it. You know, just to figure out, no, we don't want to go to the extreme on either side.
And so then what kind of, would you actually lay out some cards and use them as a teaching tool to help people?
Well, I just usually point to the cards and say to someone, it looks like you've got a place here where you're stuck and you could use some help moving forward. This person really is not good for you. And you really do need to end it. But most of the time, probably 3/4 of the time, they already knew that. All I'm doing, you know, they already knew this relationship was dysfunctional or really bad for them. And all I'm doing is confirming what they already suspected. Because I have a background of many years as a minister and high priestess, and also a dozen years as a psychotherapist, I can actually give them examples of different techniques that can be used to, you know, to end this, to turn this around. But so often I'm just confirming for them what they didn't want to hear. What they hoped to hear was that everything is fine.
It's all going to be fine.
It's all going to be fine.
Hang in there.
Keep pursuing this relationship that's really bad for you. And this is one of those times where I try to diplomatically say to someone, no, this isn't good. Come on, you know, you didn't really need me to tell you it wasn't good. You kind of knew that, didn't you? And they'll kind of sheepishly say, yeah, I kind of knew that. You're just confirming it for me. I will give them lots of encouragement about there's other ways to do this. There's other ways to do love. There's other ways to do relationship. And here's some possible ways you can start moving forward. But to tell you the truth, it doesn't matter how many times I say that, their friends say that, their mom says that, whoever else says that to them.
They say that to themselves.
If they're not ready to move forward, if the emotional payoff, whatever that might be for them, is such that they would rather stay stuck, then no amount of mirroring that back to someone will help. You know that old joke about the light bulb joke about the psychiatrist.
Oh, how many people does it take to? How many psychiatrists does it take to plug in a light bulb?
Just one, but the person must be willing to.
The light bulb.
The light bulb
must be willing to change.
Right.